Mm, Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. It's definitely good having this. This is an actual very short release. We've had a release earlier this month as well, or a couple of weeks ago. As you guys know, we're trying to always make the product better according to the feedback that we receive from you. So on this webinar, we're going to cover some of the features that will be released. It's to some of you was released last night, and to others will be released tonight. These are great features that majority have started based on your feedbacks. In just a few minutes, we're going to start. Before we start the webinar, can you please type yes in the chat box if you can see my computer screen and if you can hear my voice clearly? Okay, great. So once again, thank you everyone for attending today. We're going to go over, since we actually had quite a bit of features released last night, and again to some of you guys today, we're going to go quickly over the features at the end of the webinar. I can cover any questions that it's out there and help you guys better understand the features or better understand how you can implement the features for the business. Firstly, we're going to start with a feature that I know many of you guys, no matter of the industry, have requested. As you guys know, PerfectMind offers a document management system to be able to manage documents such as your facility agreement, your membership agreement, your ID cards, labels, and so on and so forth. The document section is under clients, and you can find it under managed documents. As you know, PerfectMind comes loaded with many documents already that you can utilize. One request and one feedback that we were receiving from clients is the ability for you to be able to remove the system documents so your staff is not able to see them and make a mistake. I know many of you guys go and create your own custom documents, which is great and we highly recommend it. And what you had requested is in order for your staff not to make mistakes, when you click the print button in a variety of different places in the system, you did not want to see documents that are already provided by the system and only display the documents related to your business and the custom documents that you guys have created. So this was a function that we did not have available in the past. System documents were essentially there at all times and you were not able to delete them. So what we've done in this release, we actually have now ability for you to hide system documents. So let's say that facility agreement that comes from by the system, and you usually can identify them with a lock sign here. What you can do, you can actually click on the document now and click on the hide button. And you will get a message, as you can see, and the message says if you are sure that you want to hide it in the recycle bin, and if so, you will be able to press OK, and it will go into a newly created folder called recycle bin. So we don't actually delete the document, we just hide it for you in case that you want to actually revert back or bring back the document for future business cases that you might have. So at any time, if you want to actually go back and bring the document back, you can click on the recycle bin. You will see the documents that were hidden from the past. You can click on it, and what you will be able to do, you will be able to click the restore button to restore it back to the original folder. So very, very useful function that's going to allow you to essentially reduce any mistakes that the staff were able to make in the past and make the processes a little bit more smoother. The next function that again came from your request is more intuitive search function. Many of you guys had requested that, upon going to the POS screen or the checkout screen, when you were trying and attempting to find a customer, you didn't necessarily have all the information necessary to be able to find that customer. And also, you were limited to how you were able to search for the customer by limited fields such as first name, last name, email address. And we wanted to expand that. So Moving forward, all the search sections within the system are consistently showing certain pieces of information, and you're able to actually search using any of those information as well. For those of you in a bigger organization, you want to kind of know the account or the family that that contact belongs to, or essentially search using the account name. Sorry, wrong button press. So if I want to basically search Alpha for Alpha family, I will be able to actually see all the members of that specific family. You can search by contact ID number for those who know their ID numbers, or by their name. But what we wanted to do, we wanted to make this consistent among different areas of the system. So wherever you're actually searching for customer, from the attendance screen of the courses, from registration page to the checkout screen, you will always have the same experience and be able to actually utilize, see, and use the fields that are more important to you to search for essentially functions that you require, or search for the customer that you require. Okay, the next section, we've received a lot of feedback from people who are really want to understand better how their marketing is going. So for those of you who have a marketing department or marketing savvy and want to understand really uh, what is, what is happening with your online booking. What are the basically statistics that you're getting? How many people are going to a certain landing page and not continuing with the process and not completing a sale? Which all of this gives you information that you'll be able to better determine what changes you require to make to improve your processes. If you're seeing a lot of people are going to a specific course registration page or a landing page, but don't end up actually registering in the course, it gives you information such as, maybe the description of the course is not correct, maybe the pricing is not correct. So you can make changes for future courses or future camps to allow you to get and gain more registrations. So in the past, there wasn't really a way for you to be able to see full analytics on, the book me or online booking related pages. So what we've done, we've actually introduced a new section. A new section on the online booking tab. So as you guys know, there's a section under setting called online booking settings, where you can configure your online booking widgets, create new widgets, and essentially embed them or link them on your website or on your emails or landing pages. What we've done in a recent release, we've actually added a new section called the analytics section. This gives you the ability to essentially paste a snippet for any analytic tool that you use. One of the analytic tools that is my personal favorite is Google Analytics, which is free, and I'm sure many of you guys are currently using it for your website. And what you're able to do, you're able to drop the code within this basically analytics section. And what it does, our system adds that code to all the different landing pages or book me related pages. What this gives you ability to do and capability to do is to then gain a lot of analytics and a lot of statistics about the traffic, where the traffic is coming from, what buttons they're clicking on, where they're hovering, at what point within the registration process they end up quitting the registration process. So it gives you a lot of information to be able to make changes in future that make changes in the future to help you better organize your online booking. And for those of you who are not familiar with widgets or, I'm sorry, the analytic codes, they're very simple. I have actually a screenshot of Google Analytics code. As you see, and this is offered not just by Google Analytics, many different tracking and analytics softwares offer such tracking codes. You will be able to go into your respected analytics tool and acquire the necessary code and paste it into the search section. Another feedback that we'd received is an ability for you to, we receive feedback for some of the bigger organizations that staff in regular basis are accidentally deleting events. And how they do that is by, essentially clicking on the X button that shows up on the event in the calendar view. This is something that's not an issue for all customers that we have, but it has been for those who have a very busy schedule and there are multiple events happening on each time slot. So everything is a little bit squeezed, so you're not going to be able to see all the information. And as you're clicking on the event, you might be accidentally clicking on the X button, which ends up deleting the event. Firstly, we do have a notification window, so when you accidentally click the button, a pop-up window will ask you to confirm if this is an action that you want to take. However, just for ease of use, we wanted to actually give that capability to people to remove essentially the delete button from the calendar if they wish not to use it. So what we've done, we've actually enabled a new setting under the calendar setting here. So you can access that by going to Settings, click Calendar Settings, and clicking Advanced Settings. Here you will be able to display or hide the X button. So right now in my database, this was disabled. If I enable it and essentially load my calendar again, actually I would need to log out and log back in, but you would see the X button actually show up. So you're able to toggle on and off this option based on your preferences and what fits your business the best. Okay. The next function that we've released is an improvement on the age module within the system. So as you guys know, we have age and age groups that are used in a variety of different areas of the system, specifically more and more commonly used for prerequisites for courses and events. So what you're able to do, you're able to generate an event and say this event or this course or this camp is for age groups from, or ages between 5 to 11. And this information shows up in a variety of different places, and you can work with, you can, have the online booking, for example, to show filters for age groups. So as a parent, if I'm coming online and seeing all the events, I'm going to be able to filter to find the events that are specifically fits my child's age group. What we had in, as a request for those bigger organizations, we've had requests in the past that the age groups also incorporates months. So you're not only limited to restrict the course for, let's say, an example for ages between 5 to 8, but you're able to actually restrict it for ages 5.5 to 6.5. So giving you more capability to manage the restrictions. This happens in some martial arts schools and studios for bigger tournaments that they might have. It does happen in majority of the rec centers for specifically swimming classes and swimming courses and programs. So and this was not a functionality that we had, so we made an improvement. And moving forward, when you're essentially defining your age groups, and managing them, from this window, when you're actually creating them, you'll have the ability to define years and months and essentially name the age group according to what it's known for. And also when you're creating an event, instead of only being restricted to or create prerequisites based on years or age, you're able to actually do it based on years and months. So this gives you a vast capabilities in really restricting events according to your business practice and according to your essentially programs that you offer. Now, after these restrictions are made or these prerequisites or information is added, once again, this information will also be visible for within the online booking section. So not only you'll be able to see them on the landing pages of the events, but also on the widgets. If the widget allows filtering by age, you will be able to filter based on age groups that fit within these criteria as well. Okay. The other feature that we release is the ability for you to customize the calendar according to your own needs. And by customizing the calendar, I'm more referring to the view. As you know, you're able to actually group the calendars either based on facility or based on staff members. What that means, it actually will show the staffs or those resources, either facility or staff, side by side, so you will be able to easily find out which facility or which staff is available at a certain time. So in this specific example, personal training, I will be able to know how I have set it up today is which facilities are available for essentially for appointments. So I'm going to be able to make a decision a lot easier. What we've done and requests and feedback that we were commonly receiving was the fact that every staff member operates slightly a different way. One staff member might be booking certain facilities or certain staff members in regular basis, so they perhaps want to see the order a little bit differently. They want to see the more popular or the better of the facilities ahead of the list, and the ones that are not used commonly in the back of the list. Right now, and as of today, these resources are sorted alphabetically. But what we want to do, we wanted to actually give more capability to all the users and all the basically end users of the system to be able to customize this view according to their own needs. But so moving forward, what you're able to do, if you actually click on the link here in the corner, which either will list facility or staff, depending on how the calendar has been set up, you will be able to see a different view. In the past, you had the ability to add more facilities or add more staff, but we wanted to actually, up our game on that. Moving forward, what you will be able to do, you will be able to also rearrange the order of these facilities or resources, and also remove certain resources and add certain resources. In addition to that, what we allow you to do moving forward is to save this view for that specific user. So in this specific example, if Peter Smith is logged in and making these changes to the view, these changes will only be saved for Peter Smith. It will not affect other members of the organization. So everyone can essentially create their own custom view that fits their needs the best and can essentially become more efficient in completing their tasks. So now going back to actually show you guys how you can change essentially the grouping in case you're not aware of that. That is an option that's on the calendar settings. So if you go onto any of the calendars, click on the downward arrow and choose calendar settings. Here you have a function that will allow you to group by facility, staff, or none. So in this case, if I change it to staff and press save, instead of seeing the names of the facilities, now I see the names of the staff members that can conduct this specific service side by side. So I can make a decision a lot easier. And I have the same functionality, which is being able to click on the link and be able to reorder or add new resources to this list. All right. One quick note, since we're on the calendar, to mention is in regards to enrolling people to a previously registered course. This came up more as a feedback. It was an issue. I'm not going to cover it as more of a feature, but something that we did make a change, and I know a lot of you guys had requested in the past. So the business case was that you would have a customer who would register into a certain course, and perhaps they chose the wrong fee for the course, or they were not eligible for that fee from the beginning. Maybe you guys have a promotion for multiple course registrations, get a discount, or perhaps there's a member and non-member fee and the customer used the wrong login, so in results got the non-member fee where they should have got the member fee. And the typical behavior is to withdraw the customer from the course and re-register them into the course again and choosing the right fee. What the issue and the challenge that we had in the past was the fact that when someone had been withdrawn from a course, you were not able to re-register them into the same course. This was a limitation, and it was an essentially restriction that we have put in place to avoid any mistakes. However, we received many feedbacks that, for these specific cases that I've, made examples of, you would like to actually re-register someone into a course. So moving forward, we've actually enabled the function for you to be able to do that. If you withdraw someone from an existing course, you will be able to re-register them into the same course now to allow you to complete those adjustments and changes that you require. Okay, the next feature for us to cover today is a slight change on adjusting punch passes that we've enabled. So as you know, punch passes and are a common function that's used for majority of different business cases, no matter of the type of the business you are. What we have punch passes that could for example, for martial art lessons, punch passes for yoga lessons, punch passes for private lessons, or just drop-in punch passes for swimming pool, or really any variety of different types of business. And we've always had the ability for the punch pass to be counted up and down. The only limitations that we had in the past, it was essentially a text field that you had to edit manually if you wanted to actually bring that number down. One of the biggest challenge for those of you who are using our accounting and GL module within the system was the fact that the revenue records, if you had made manual adjustments to the punch mass, and that is meaning that you went to the membership, press edit, and or overwrote the number of sessions that was left to a new number. The accounting work in the background of that would not happen. It would have not actually created revenue records for those punch passes that you had adjusted. This was actually by design to allow you to be able to make changes if necessary. However, we receive feedback that that's not always a business case. In some points, without needing the attendance record or the event, you want to be able to still remove the session and be able to allocate the right number of or the right revenue to essentially the punch pass. So what we've done in our recent release, we've added 2 buttons to punch passes, a plus and minus punch button, which as you can imagine, it just essentially by using these buttons, they'll add or remove the session. So you can simply click it, you get a notification that modifying this number will affect your GL postings, and you press yes. And again, for those of you who are using our GL module and accounting module, you will be able to see essentially your revenue record generated for the punch pass that we've just deducted. So as you can see, your revenue record has been, or revenue account has been credited, and an AR account or account receivable account has been debited as soon as we click the button, and it's basically using the portion that is allocated to one punch pass for that specific membership. So it was a relatively a small change, but important change to ensure that your books are accurate and you don't encounter any accounting issues at the end of the year as and when you do your audit. All right, the next section or the feature that we had released is related to adjusting credits and balances on accounts. So as you know, every customer can either hold the credit on their account, and we see here that basically the amount of credit they have, you can click on it, you will be able to see the amounts of credit and how the customer has gained it. You can actually click on it to see more details of that specific transaction that causes. You can buy more credit and add on the account if necessary. So this is in a case that maybe a parent wants to buy $50 worth of credit, put it on the their child's account so the child can use that towards purchasing food, beverages, or pay for equipment if required. And you can also have the function, if your permissions are set up correctly, to be able to pay out the credit, so issuing a check and essentially making the balance zero or to a lower amount. So these are the common practices that we had, and we have the same thing with also past due, so an ability for you to see lists of all the invoices that are past due and or overdue, and ability for you to choose the ones that you want to pay and essentially collect the payment for that. One thing that we had many requests for is ability for you to adjust these numbers without really needing to go to either purchasing a product or cashing out the credit. So without really affecting your, the GL accounts that are set up for these processes. So, and this is, I would say always making sure that although I am not fully a fan or in favor of all the changes that are requested for this purpose, but what we wanted to do, we wanted to make sure that you have the capability of making any changes to these values if necessary. So what we've done, we actually introduced a new section under bookkeeping where it says customer adjustment. So what the customer adjustment window does, it gives you the ability to search for a customer. So we would have to choose the location first, and let me just double check the location of the customer. Location 3. All right, you can actually choose the customer. You can choose if you want to grant account credit or charge the customer. So meaning that you want to put money on their account so they can use for a purpose. Maybe the business case behind that is that the customer went through a bad customer service experience and you want to put $20 as credit on their account that they can use for future purchases. Or perhaps they helped you with a task at your business. They help cleaning up. They help managing a specific event. They brought referrals that you want to give them referral credit. So a lot of different cases that could be utilized for this purpose. But you can grant account credit, or you are able to charge the customer. So perhaps it's a late fee that you want to charge. It's cancellation fee. And for granting account credit, I think this is a more common system to use. For charging customers account, I would still recommend selling a non-inventory item. And the reason I recommend that, I believe it's much better system to be able to run reporting on. So you can create a product in the store, a non-inventory product called late fee or NSF fee or cancellation fee, and actually charging those separately. But if you don't want to go through that process, your accounting team wants to just essentially putting a fee on the customer, you're able to do that easily now by just choosing this option as well. The next is the change that you want to make or the essentially notes that you want to add. So the annotations that you want to add. And lastly, you can actually set what accounts or GL accounts you want to affect. And this is if you're using the GL accounting module on our system, and you will be able to say which account to hit or deduct from and essentially manage those amounts yourself. And then you can add the save button, which basically, as you see, it says in this specific case where we said account credit for Annabelle, which you can see clearly on the left that had $87.25 as a current balance. It shows you with the change you make, what would be the new balance. And if you did it the other way, which is charging the customer account, as you see, it would say that currently they have $20 in balance, but with the change that you do, which is adding $50, they would change to $50. And anytime you make a change like that, let's make a grant account. And we refresh the screen for it. As you see, the balance has now been corrected or changed, and if you click on it, you would see the history. So you would see that on 6/4, $50 was added, and that annotation or note that we've added, as you can see clearly, is added to this list. So it's easy for your customer service team, your front desk team, for your instructors and coaches to be able to easily find out and tell why that amount has been changed. So a very neat feature that just increases your capability in really managing your customers a little bit better. At this stage of the webinar, we've covered all the features and functions that will be available for our small business, essentially application. So for those of you who are managing martial arts studios, schools, yoga studios, or fitness centers, what we want to cover, you're more than welcome to actually remain in the webinar and see the next section of the webinar, which would be features that we have released specifically for our enterprise product, just because of the functionality that they required and it affected them. So these features that I'm going to cover moving forward, again, it's only specific to our enterprise clients and enterprise modules. Please note all of the enterprise clients will receive all the other features that we've covered so far, but also will receive these in addition to what we've covered so far. Firstly is a small change but important change for essentially setting up your the accounting or the GL account related to cashing out credits. So What we had in the past, we have the ability for you to cash out or pay out credits, and you are able to, for those, for the enterprise clients who link these to GL accounts, as you know, and as you can clearly see, you can link this to a GL account that will be affected. So as soon as you cash out, let's say you give back $50 that the customer has as credit on their account to them, which GL account do you want to actually affect? What we had in the past, we had limitations to only see asset accounts. So seeing your bank account or accounts payable account, different types of asset account that you might have created. One request that we received from some of the accounting departments of municipalities was to also have the ability for those who want to affect a liability account, and the reason, for their accounting purposes. So what we've done now, we've been essentially enhanced the function to also include liability type accounts in addition to asset accounts. So you can set this up according to your accounting preferences. The next function that we have released is related to facility bookings and facility contracts. We wanted to actually improve your view of facility contracts. So I'm just going to go from the account window and pull up a family or an account that I know has some facility bookings to be able to demonstrate this feature. So let's say meetings. So I'm just opening up a facility contract. So these are all the reservations that the customer has. This window has not changed, so it's still very similar to what you're currently used to. All the buttons and all the modules that you were happy with and you're basically utilizing today will continue to remain the same. What we wanted to do is to give you a better visual of the rentals itself. The request that we were continuously getting is that, if this facility contract has 3 different reservations, one of them meeting at, on the certain day or at certain time, and especially for those who have a recurring booking, so every Monday for 8 weeks, it's not really easy to visually see all the booking dates and be able to communicate it with the customer as well. Even some organizations we knew utilizing PerfectMind or utilizing other systems, they were even going through creating manual schedule for the customers for the bigger accounts to be able to better visualize and better show all their bookings to the customer. So what we did as of this release, we wanted to give you the ability to really easily view those bookings and be able to communicate that with your customers. So what we have now, we have this function of calendar view, which will allow you to see all the bookings. This is not a perfect example for this purpose because of the limited bookings that they have and it's in the past. But you will be able to see all the bookings in a calendar view, and also gives you an ability to export it in PDF and either print it for the customer or email it to the customer. Just going to go back to that family and see if we can find a better rental for this purpose. Excuse me for that. All right, much better rental. So as you see, the customer is booked for, has a booking for every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 to 9 a.m. This is not visually here. You're not able to really find out all the dates. You had to, in the past, either print the agreement to be able to see the dates on the agreement, or edit the booking to be able to see all the sessions in the booking using the function that we recently released as well. So moving forward, you will be able to just click on the calendar view, easily see all the bookings, and as you see, the color coordinate to also help the customer better understand and differentiate between the different reservations. And what you will be able to do is to export to PDF, which creates you a document such as this, which is essentially an entire calendar that you can either print for your customer and email it to them. This is great. I know a lot of you guys have asked for this, and I know many of you guys were spending hours and hours and hours to manually conduct this task. So you are able to now utilize PerfectMind to complete this action for you. Since we've covered this module, I'm just going to cover a feature that we had released a couple of weeks ago, which is using the similar functionality, but to be able to see the schedule for the families or any individuals. So this was released on our last release, which was just couple of weeks ago. But since that release, you have the ability to go to any customer, and this is available to all customers, no matter of the industry. And you will be able to go to the schedule and have the similar view for the bookings, for the course booking or event bookings of the customer. So you can see all the events that they're booked for very easily, go to any date of your choice or any month of your choice, and be able to actually print that view or for any range of time and be able to provide it to the customer or print it for them. Also, we have the similar view on the family or account level, where it gives you a little bit more functionality, and that is the ability for you to be able to choose the family members that you want to actually see the calendar for. So in this specific case, this family has 3 members, Sam, Billy, and Aaron, and you will be able to see all their bookings in one window, and you can print this and actually provide it to them or send it as a PDF. So very, very good function. We received a lot of positive feedback about this since we released it, and we now expanded it to facility bookings as well. The next section or the next feature that we had released, we've improved on a function that we already had, and that is to be able to completely block access for a member. So for any purpose, your organization might decide not to work with the customer for a period of time or block all their access until they come see you. Now we have fields and information to be able to help you with that, such as need info. This is more of a essentially soft touch that if you require an additional information from customers, you'll be able to put it into that field, and as they scan to the system or to the front desk will be notified and the customer will be notified. But we had requests that to be able to further essentially hold the customer for any transactions for any purpose. Maybe someone's just overdue for way too long, or there's a critical waiver that they haven't signed yet, or an agreement that they haven't signed, and in results you don't want them to conduct any actions until that action is done. So what we've done now, we've actually released a function called scanning access. So what you'll be able to do, just click or hover over the arrow pointing downwards, click on scanning access, and be able to check this box to prevent access with scanning in this location, and then provide a reason. So what this button does, it does more than preventing access on scanning. What that means is if the customer comes in, scans the card, the system will give them a warning to be able to see front desk. So also warning and alert will be added on their file so everyone is aware of the issue. So I'm going to just add a note, prevent access for this customer. So anytime now that I go to Aaron Chu, first of all, I do see this error message or this alert, access denied, issue with credit card. So all your staff is very well aware of it. In addition to it, when the customer scans their card, they will be able to get that error. But this goes a step further, where we will block the customer from doing any online registrations, and also for your staff to register them into any courses. So all of this, and every time that this action is being done, so they're being registered into any course, they'll receive a message like that until basically they see front desk. One recommendation I have is to always add who has added this note. So if it requires the staff to follow up with an individual within the organization, they can clearly do that. If you do go on their file though, you will be able to also see the alerts as I mentioned, or remove the existing alerts. If you want to remove the access or essentially the block from the customer, you can do the same thing by going to scanning access and unchecking the box. As you saw, I had removed it already so it doesn't show up. All right, so the next section of our webinar is all about reports that we had released for essentially those of you who are utilizing their enterprise product. These reports have been requested, or either are existing reports that we've improved on, or new reports that we have released. I'm just going to go over all of them and provide you examples on them so you can utilize them as of today actually. The first report is a report we call attendance sheet. What we had and as requests is for those of you who do events maybe outside of the main organization or main headquarters, or perhaps you have facilities at places that they might not have access to internet, tablets, computers to be able to take the attendance using the system right on the spot. And you wanted to have the ability to be able to print manual attendance sheets so you can actually have your coaches and your staff members take attendance manually. So as of this release, we've introduced a new report for the enterprise clients called Attendance Sheet. This report, by the way, will become available to our other clients as well very soon. So it is a function that we'll release to all of our clients very, very soon. And the report looks like something like this. So what you have the ability to run it for any range of time. You can filter using variety of different filters such as season, calendar category, calendar name, so you can find for only the basketball events, the services, so the type of essentially the events, the staff that's conducting it, the supervisor assigned to it, the event type, if it's a course or the appointment or single booking, the location, really variety of different functions. We have so many different actually functionality here for you to really find what you really truly looking for. And as I mentioned, you can also filter, and what the system does is actually generates a page per course unless the course has a lot of attendees and requires multiple pages. And what you will see all the attendees for that course and every day that course actually has a session on. So if the course runs for 14 weeks, you will see 14 columns to be, and each column representing each day within that course, so each session within the course. What we wanted to do, we wanted to actually create this report and to provide you a lot of functionality. Firstly, you're able to actually just pass this to your instructor to utilize it as just a manual attendance sheet that they can pass back to you. So you can actually enter it into the system if necessary. Once again, if you can have the ability to have your staff members to have access to the PerfectMind right on the floor, that is the more ideal situation because it gives you the ability to essentially skip a step and update the attendance records right away as well. They can use a check-in app and be able to easily attend people just on the tablet and using your device. But for those who don't have the ability, you can pass this sheet. They can manually adjust it. What we've also done, we've actually added 2 columns for in and out, essentially check bars. So and this can be used for camps and camp sign in and sign out sheets as well. So for those who want to use this report for camp purposes, you can simply sign in the in and out box, and that reflects, when the student or the member had come in for the camp or the child was dropped off for the camp and when they had left for the camp. So very clear visual document that you'll be able to utilize to better improve your processes. The next report that we've improved on is event rosters. As you know, we've had event rosters in the system, but we wanted to actually make it even better. So now we have actually 2 different event rosters. In the past, we had event roster by session. So what that gave you the ability is really the similar type of report that I just showed you, but more for per session of the course. So what you were able to do, you were able to run this report for any event, and you would see in a page like this where it would say all the people that are registered to come in that specific day, their statuses, their age, their emergency contact, even to a point that you were able to even show alerts or to better visualize if they have any messages on their files. So that Erin, that we had added the essentially deny access to, as you can see, it's very simply their alert shows up here if you want it to show up. So this is a function that we had which you were able to either get to it using the report section and filter out to find the course you're looking for, or essentially search for a certain course number. So I can just to a preview, actually don't have the course running for that range of time. As you see here, it shows you all the people that are registered, and the instructor can know exactly who to expect that specific day. If the course is running for multiple days, the system would have generated 1 page per day of that course. So this is for March 28th, as you can see here, and the next page is for March 29th, and so on and so forth. So April 1st, and move forward. You're able to either get to this report using the report section, or you're also able to get to it by going to the calendar and clicking on, I'm going to just find a quick course, clicking on a specific event and choosing the event roster, so that specific day versus seeing the entire series. And if there was attendees in the event, I'm just going to try to find someone to attend. Sorry, one quick second so I can register someone into this course. All right, so if there was someone registered into the course, you would have able to actually see a button here versus event roster by session, which essentially what it does, it launches the same report and it already filters for that specific day. So you don't actually have to go to the report section and create your criteria to find that specific day or specific session. So this is something we've had. We just made some improvements on it. We've added more filters to be able to better fit your needs. The other report that we released related to rosters is for those who want to see rosters by series. So for the entire course, essentially, having an entire course list that you can print, provided to the instructor or that will be conducting that specific course. So they're very aware of who came in, and who were supposed to come in for that course and other information. So that report, it's called roster by series now. And as you can see, it can show you the entire roster and it's one page per course. So instead of having a specific page for each day of the course, you have one page for the entire course that runs for that series of time. So it has some information. You will be able to, again, if you're coming directly from the report section, to be able to filter and find the exact course you're looking for. You can actually customize some of the columns right on the report as well, so you can add more information if you wish by just clicking the preview. One thing that we wanted to make sure that's added, and I know it's a feature many of you guys have asked, is ability for you to have the questionnaire or the prompts added to the same report as well. So if there was a questionnaire attached to that specific event, you're able to simply have that displayed, or the answers displayed on this this view, so your coach knows what the person answered during the registration process. So if they have any medical issues or they have previous experiences and so on and so forth. What we also have, again, is a lot of filters that we wanted to just add more and more filters for you guys to be able to better improve, and allow you to better customize the view that you're looking for your specific purpose. So this is one way to get to this report, which I mentioned, using just going directly from the report section. The other way is starting from the calendar and clicking on essentially the attendance page, but instead of going to an individual day, clicking on the entire series. When you click on the entire series, and I'm going to actually go into a course that I know there's a lot of people register to for a better example. So I'm going to search for the course, and as you know, the system will automatically take me to that course. Now if you see, because I went into the course list or course view, the system will show me a different button. So the same location, but instead of saying event roster by session, it actually says event roster by series, because I'm in a series view instead of the session view. And if I click on it, it goes directly to the report specific to that course. So I can then simply print this off, make some changes to it by adding more columns to it, and hand it off to my instructor or coach. Again, we still highly recommend, if your coaches and instructors have access to PerfectMind, so they can enter PerfectMind and see this data live presented to them. All right. Two other changes or improvements that we've done or reports that we release. One is called facility schedule. So this is a report that it's designed to be a public-facing report. It's designed for those of you who have door cards or want to publish a schedule of a certain facility in a bulletin board or in any area of the system. So we didn't really have an easy way for you to be able to print that information in the past. So based on requests, we've actually added now a function. So what you're able to do, you'll be able to run this report, run it for any range of time, filter, add in all the filters that you want to be able to better determine the criteria or the information that you want to have printed. And then you can get a view like this, where it actually just shows you the times of the event, for each location or each facility. You can actually change the grouping, the events that are happening, the type of service, and the facility that's conducted. So you can create a printout like this for every location that you have, or you can actually filter it for a certain facility. So you can actually put it on the door of that facility or on the bulletin board related to that facility, so everyone's very well aware of it. For those of you who are more advanced, PerfectMind actually offers integration to systems like Scala, which are monitoring systems. So this information can be presented live automatically into those systems for those who have the equipment. For those who don't, you are able to utilize this. And as I mentioned, you can actually group it differently. So you can group it by date, which it is right now. So you see on Wednesday, these are all the events that are happening. Or you can group by perhaps facility. So you can actually see on Dance Studio, these are the events that are happening. On Room 2, these are the events that are happening. And filter to only see the facilities that you do wish to happen. So if you want to print something just for your Dance Studio, you can just choose Dance Studio, press Preview, and get a sheet just specific for Dance Studio. So again, this is more designed for public facing, but obviously can be used for just an informative information as well. And we did this just to give you that functionality and that the capability to be able to create these public facing documents. And lastly, a report that we've had in the past, we've just made some changes in terms of the UI and the filters to add more filters, and this is a maintenance report. So as you know, we've had a maintenance report which can provide the information to your maintenance staff of what events are coming up and what type of essentially instructions they're required to do. This is only if that certain event has a padding, so it has a setup or takedown, essentially padding added to the event. And it's developed specifically for your maintenance crew to be able to know how to configure that for that rental. So this, I'm not going to go into too much of details of this report since we've had it available to you for a past little while. We've just added more filters, so now you can actually, add and filter down to specific to the type of the event or specific event that you're looking for and provide that information to your maintenance staff. All right, so and this covers really all the items that we had released last night or will be released to you tonight. At this point, we have a few minutes left, so I will open the floor for any questions if you have any. All right, Conroy has mentioned awesome seminar, love the software. 2 questions. Do you have a customizable tournament software? Do I need to download anything to run PM on my tablet? So great question, Conroy. I will start with your second question first, and that is if you need to download anything to run PM on your tablet. No, you do not. PerfectMind is a full browser system, browser application or browser-based application. So as long as the device you use has a browser installed on it, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Internet Explorer, you will be able to run PerfectMind. If I had to choose between the browsers, I would recommend Chrome first and then the others. It's just Chrome, because of the simplicity that they built into Chrome, it's just easier and faster to launch PerfectMind. The next section is, your other question is in regards to a customizable tournament software. So we can manage parts of the tournaments within the system, but for your question of really a full-on tournament module, this is a function that's currently in the works. We're actually partnering up and have partnered up with one of the best tournament softwares in North America or in the world to be able to have a full integrated system that gives you the capability of not just scheduling events in the tournament, but going a further step of scoring, ranking, team managing, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of cool stuff is coming in regards to that. I would put that in more of towards end of the year delivery. No problem, Conroy. So Tammy has asked a question. Tammy, good to see you here actually. For the roster with session report, even in the example, the same person, John Chu, shows up repeatedly in the list. Let's go through and see it. You've caught something that I might have not caught. So we are going to go session. I'm going to try to replicate the same selection that I've had, and hopefully we'll see it. I see here. I think this is more just my mistake, Tammy. This is not by design. In my demo databases, I'm not that creative in coming up with names, so I come up with sometimes the same name customers, and because I do demos and training for a lot of people, I might add them to the same course. So that's the only reason that's shown up. So there are actually 4 different people. So in the regular cases, you should not see something like this. But good catch and good eye on this. All right, if you are seeing it on your side as well, we can certainly look into it for you, and if it's required, correct it, but it should not be showing that way. Okay, we got 3 more minutes, so if there's any questions, now's the time to ask. Jen, I did receive your feedback. First of all, again, good to seeing you here. Always love seeing you in all of our seminars and webinars. I received your feedback about adding the locations, also the search function as well. So that is something that I'm going to bring to our product team to add as well. Have a great point. Conroy had asked if that you missed the first part of the question, which I believe you're referring to the tournament section. So I mentioned that we are integrating into a new tournament module, and it will be released more likely end of this year, and it would be using a different service. So there will be a fee associated to it, but in result, or in return, it'll give you a full tournament module. The dates, again, it's not finalized yet, so we will share more information as we get closer to the date and the dates are finalized. And we'll share information with you of how to gain that module. I just got another message from you that you are referring to the webinar. The webinar has been recorded and will be shared with everyone through our social media channel and through emails in just a couple of days. Oh, no problem. Tammy has brought up, what is a default GL account for customer adjustments for a double account accounting system? There isn't a default system. The system gives you the ability to choose any account to debit or credit from for any purpose. So depending on the type of the essentially adjustment that you're making, your accountant or your accounting team can choose the account that's associated to it. We wanted to make it more because in majority of cases, depending if it's an NSF fee or if it's a late fee for a course or cancellation fee, they go into complete different accounts. So we wanted to make it open to fulfill all the different business cases. Conroy has asked a question, do we have the ability to pay lump sum on areas? Not sure if I follow that question. And by the way, since we're running out of time, I'll have this as the last question for today, and then we can conclude the webinar for today. Please make, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly, your account representative, or the support team, and we'll be able to help with further questions. I see. You're asking for a pass-through fee if it can be applied to multiple people. Not at this time, but this is an item that's on our roadmap to automatically actually add pass-through fees. Okay, that is that question is basically it concludes the webinar for today. I thank you, thank all of you guys for taking the time and attending the webinar today. And the recording, as I mentioned, will be made available in just the next couple of days. If you have any questions, feel free to get into our 24 hours support channels, and we'll be able to help you with those questions and continue providing feedback. And we'll see you next month with another webinar and covering more exciting features. All right, thank you very much. And on behalf of Perfect Mind, I thank you once again for attending and your continuous feedback.